So I have set a 10-minute timer and I'm going to pop it just over there. What I wanted to look at today was just an exercise that has some ease. I'm working on an A6 card, which is a quarter of an A4 sheet. And I am going to just put a kind of wheelie, woggly, very light line there. And I am going to grab a little bit of a blue here and a little bit of Payne's grey, and I am going to work probably mostly in something like a 6 or a 4 brush if I can find one. I seem to be having terrible trouble finding brushes today. Do you know what? I'm just going to work in my colour picking up brush. So quite watery, and I'm just doing that to meet this line here like that. And then just water onto that. My water is a little bit dirty. I'm going to grab a little bit of opera pink and just dot that in, I think. Just trying to hint at kind of sunrisey or sunsetty kind of sky. I think I might grab a little bit of a warm kind of Indian yellowy colour maybe and see how that goes. Just down here. And then add a little bit more of that pink next to it. Just, you know, you get those skies that do that, and then just a blue. I'm not really fussed about what blue at the moment, and I want it to be quite watery, so I am going to just pop that in. Fabulous. I need this to be dry enough that I can carry on, so I'm going to give that a really quick blast with the heat gun. So that is dry enough. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take a blue, mix it with that kind of Payne's grey, and I'm going to make a really kind of watery mix, and it needs to be even waterier than this, and bluer, just a little bit bluer. There we go. And I'm just going to paint that up to here, and I want it to be really, really watery. So I'm going to get that all over the page. It's okay if it's not perfect, and I need to dry it. I'm going to take that blue that I had, I'm going to pop a little bit more of a blue in it, make it a little bit more intense, and I'm going to follow a different line, just however I want to. And I'm going to again just put that colour all over, but below that line that I've painted. And again, I'm still using a watery mix of the colour, and I am glazing, but I'm not having to worry too much about not disturbing the layers underneath, because I'm glazing it to kind of intensify the colours. I'm going to have a little look at this shape here because I'm not loving that line. I'm going to just drip in a little bit there, just to smooth it out, and again, dry it. keep repeating this process of adding some more blue to the mix that I've got left for a little while. And I'm going to paint another layer on, so adding some intensity to the colour. You can see this is creating kind of a landscape feel for us, isn't it? So is it important to get to the very bottom? Yes, it is, because those colours are layering up. So if you don't get to the very bottom, it'll look a different colour at the top to at the bottom of the last strip. Again, I'm going to put, this is just that plural, it's probably French ultramarine or ultramarine blue, I think. So a little bit of water with that, because I don't want it too heavily pigmented. And again, get a little bit of an edge, and then use my brush to just kind of go up to it. So we're glazing, we're using the tip of our brush to kind of create the line, and we're working quickly enough that that line doesn't dry. We're trying not to disturb the layer of paint that goes underneath. All the way to the bottom, and each time we're drying it thoroughly. So I'm going to grab some of that ultramarine, or French ultramarine, and then I'm going to want to start to try and warm it up a little bit. And I think what I'm going to do to warm it up a little bit is to add a tiny touch of a warm purple, and it's going to be Rose of Ultramarine. So if I add just a touch, I've added a big touch. See, it's kind of on that am I purple, am I blue kind of colour. So let's add some of that and see. We get all the way down to that bottom corner there. Just wanting to do that line a little bit if I can. Find it a bit more purpley, but that's okay. There we go. Let's dry it. Get that Rose of Ultramarine, some of that French Ultramarine, and let's get another layer in. How many can we get in and glaze in 10 minutes? Now I talked a little bit at the start, so there's my 10-minute timer. I think I'm definitely okay with finishing this layer off, because after I dried the sky, I'd only got 6 minutes left. Go. I'm going to give that a dry. So what I'm going to do now is take that lovely warm purple and add a layer of that. And that's kind of pure rose ultramarine. Now, one of the reasons I use rose ultramarine, as well as it being warm, is that it's actually made using ultramarine blue, so it has this kind of blue in its colour because it's not a single pigment. I'm just going to give that a dry. And so, in 10 minutes, we've created a really fun little abstract landscape. We've practiced our glazing skill, we've practiced our wetting. There's lots more we could go on and do with this if we wanted to. We could add pencil lines and shading, we could paint some things in ink in the foreground. What about a really tall silver birch tree here, maybe 2 of them, maybe some black ink along the bottom, and I think that's probably where I'm going to go.